Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're digging into just one source. It's a really personal one titled cc44.pdf.
Yeah, it reads almost like a private reflection, maybe a prayer.
Exactly, not like a report or anything. It's grappling with, human flaws, imperfection, and then this idea of grace.
Right. And our goal here really is to unpack that journey in the text. It starts with this pretty raw confession of being unworthy. Then there's this surprising response of grace. And finally, what that means for how you live afterward. What's it saying about us and about mercy?
And it grabs you right away, doesn't it? The language is so strong.
Oh, yeah.
Describing himself with filthy lips and devious hands, that feeling of like trembling before holiness, like the prophet Isaiah, it really sets the scene.
It does. So let's get into that feeling of unworthiness he talks about.
Okay.
Well, the text is brutally honest. It talks about words having pride or complaint in them.
Yeah.
And hands that were going after selfish things, not helping others, not serving.
So a really deep sense of being sinful, just totally inadequate, like feeling dirty before something pure.
Exactly. But then comes this huge contrast, right?
Right. That's the pivot.
Yeah.
Despite confessing all this mess, this rebellion even, the text just says, "You do not cast me away."
And that's the grace part. It's kind of radical. The text suggests grace isn't something you earn by getting better first. It's given precisely to those who admit they need it, who feel broken. It explicitly says the broken and contrite heart aren't rejected.
So even seeing all the filth, the response is closeness, not rejection.
Yeah, grace meets you in the mess. That's the fascinating part. Not after you've somehow cleaned up.
And the imagery of hands makes that so clear, I think.
It really does.
You've got the author's devious hands doing their own thing.
Selfish pursuits.
And then your hands, O Lord, which are filled with compassion.
Yeah, the text paints this picture of God actively reaching down.
Not to condemn, but to rescue. Holding on, stopping the sinking. It's very active.
And that ties into the idea later about divine pursuit, God coming after him when he wanders off.
Right, lifting him up from despair.
Even speaking peace when he doesn't know what to pray. And the core message is just so clear. God saves not because I am good, but because you are.
It completely shifts the focus from what I do to who God is.
Exactly. Which leads the author to wonder, well, why would anyone turn away from this?
Yeah, the folly of turning away. If you've experienced this kindness, why chase what he calls fleeting pleasures?
That comparison is powerful too. The lights of this world are dim compared to the glory of your face. So the text looks at why we get distracted by things that, promise a lot but don't deliver.
Leading to emptiness?
Right. It warns against swapping the eternal for the temporary, the holy for the hollow, as it puts it.
That temptation to chase highs instead of lasting fulfillment.
Yeah, asking to be kept close because only that presence truly satisfies, according to the author.
So receiving this grace isn't passive. The source frames it as a call to holiness and gratitude.
Precisely. If you're saved from something bad and into something good, well, that suggests living differently.
Walking in God's ways. Mercy demands surrender, right? Not going back to the old ways.
Yeah, and specifically, it mentions moving away from the very things that nailed you to the cross.
Yeah.
That's a pretty direct reference in its context.
So the goal becomes life reflecting love, words telling truth.
Hands doing kindness.
Yes.
Reflecting those compassionate hands that reach down.
But the motivation is key here.
Absolutely crucial. The source really stresses this. It's not to earn your love, but because I already have it.
That's a huge difference.
It is. He feels he's been given salvation, sonship, this sense of belonging and eternal life.
So the result shouldn't be guilt or obligation.
No, the text says this should be a heart overflowing with gratitude, not guilt, with devotion, not duty. It's all a response to the gift.
And it wraps up coming back to that dynamic, doesn't it? Weak self, strong God.
Yeah, the weak, sinful self constantly being held by the strong, faithful God, catching when stumbling,
Exalting when falling.
calling back when turning away. So the final stance is just clinging.
Not because you're worthy or strong yourself.
But because God is worthy, and God holds on tight.
So this source takes us on quite a journey, from honestly facing failure
to this profound sense of awe at receiving mercy.
and ending with this call to live out of gratitude.
Yeah, what's really interesting is that tension. It holds the raw look at imperfection right alongside this unwavering confidence in grace. It's not about earning it. It's about receiving it.
It definitely makes you ponder that core question the text raises. If you receive something so freely given, how does that change everything? How you see yourself, how you choose to live?
And maybe a final thought for you to consider. If the source suggests worldly pursuits lead to emptiness, but this divine presence brings joy, well, what might that imply about where true, lasting satisfaction is actually found? Something to mull over.